Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host, Johnny Hellcat, and with me today is Sanguine.
Good evening, all.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing grand, and yourself?
Oh, not too bad.
That's
It's
good to hear.
been a pretty steady day at work. Little busy, but not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
How's things
Today was,
been?
today was my night off, so I've just been relaxing. My normal TTRPG was canceled for the night, so I've been dicking around with my new computer, and now I'm doing the prep work for all my dinner plans tonight, and it's going rather well. Though I just realized I need to clean my microplane, so rather than using a microplane in order to get the zest from a lime, I'm currently peeling the lime with a very, very sharp knife.
Now, when you zest, is that zesting the outside or the peel?
So it is the very, very, very skin of the citrus is what you're zesting.
Okay.
You don't want to get the white. The white is known as the pith. The pith is horrendously bitter.
Yeah.
So you go for just the very skin of it.
As someone who has eaten orange peel before, yes.
Yeah. The only time that you want peel for something is when you're making like candied orange peel.
Isn't that where you
And
use it in
then,
a meringue too?
well, you
Or you
for candied
can
orange
use in meringue?
for candied orange peel, you need to get the peel, which includes the pith, and then there's an entire process to boil the bitter out first, and then you candy the son of a bitch.
Ah.
And it's that process that makes it rather sweet and tasty.
Okay.
And then you can use candied orange peel in a whole bunch of different things. You can make crystallized peel as well, which is effectively just candied taken to the next level.
Gotcha.
And then those you can use in shit ton of different things. You can kind of mince them up, mix them into a meringue. You can slice them up, mix them into like financier batter, and make a financier that has orange peel, candied orange peel in it. But yeah, for the most part, you get rid of the pith and you just use the very, very thin outside layer, which is the zest.
Now, when you are doing the zest, is it just rubbing, or is there are you waiting for like a spritz?
So when it comes to doing zest, like I said, most of the time I'll use a microplane. And if you take the bit, so like right now I'm using a knife in order to do it. And if I take the little bits of peel that I'm doing and I squeeze them between my finger, I can get a spritz. But when you use a microplane, you're doing such fine shavings of it, you can't really get a spritz going with it.
Because
Because
we have a zester.
Yep.
We got so.
Yeah, and the zester is effectively a microplane, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Or do you not know if it... Your zester looks like a really fine cheese grater, right?
Yeah.
That's a microplane.
Okay.
And for that, it's such a shallow cut, because you've seen how small all the holes are on it, that you really have to go over the area several times before you'll get the pith, making it so that it's much easier to get just the skin without any pith using a microplane than it is to do so with a knife like I'm doing right now, or with anything else. So you use a microplane, and like I said, that you've seen the result of it. There's just these very fine, almost threads that are there at the end of the zest,
Yeah.
at the end of the zesting. And those are too fine to really be able to get a spritz out of, but they still contain all that oil that is in that skin, which are the bits that actually contain the flavor that you want. It's all in that oil.
Gotcha. Well, let's just say hi to everyone in chat here. You got Rotten Corpse. How's it going? Assassin of the Grey. Good to see you. Poppy. How's it going? Frosted. Always good to see you. Costin. How you doing? So yeah,
hopefully everyone out there's doing well.
So yeah, I showed you earlier, but I went firing the pew pew a little bit. Celebrate Juneteenth, as it were. So let's see if I can bring up those pictures again, because I know what I am doing.
Juneteenth is such a bullshit holiday, and it doesn't even have that great of a celebration. If you're going to have a bullshit holiday, give it a good celebration.
You would think.
Whereas it is a made-up holiday of listen to us bitch. It isn't really a celebration. It doesn't really have festivities.
So let's go bigger there. So I wonder if I could just switch it over to the bigger mode so that I can at least show off. Yeah, that's rich. Show the actual pictures. So let's get rid of that. It's called utilizing space. Let's do that. There we go. That should be a little bit better. So yeah, this was my third, or not my third. This is my second target. This one I did better than. I think I did better on this one than I did on the previous shot, which was my second time using my wife's gun. The first one, we don't want to talk about that one.
You didn't shoot the guide, did you?
No. It was it was a Hellcat Pro, and it was a range that we have in town. Yeah, there's a.
Have you ever
Got
shot
this guy in
the
the
guide?
throat. I have not shot in the guide. I will not shoot the guide. I'm not exactly sure what the distances are. They're not really marked. At least I haven't seen them. I thought about doing. I think the first line, which maybe I would say. Probably a good. I wouldn't say 10 feet, but maybe 20 feet out. 10, maybe 10. It's hard to tell without them actually having measured it.
So
we don't walk it out. It actually is on a
hanger rail.
yeah, it's on a hanger, and yeah, you pull it back in, and you have a little switch that you flip, and it takes it out, pulls it back. The third one that I shot, which I believe is this one, as you can tell by this banger right here, and right here, I had at the second to longest distance away.
And they don't have the yardage marked out on the wall or anything?
No, they just have lines.
Ah, strange. Normally, they'll have the measure marked out on the wall so that there's the 5 yard, the 10 yard, the 15, 20, and then they'll start skipping a little bit, and you'll have like the 25, 35, 45.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I were to hazard a guess, I would say the first one is maybe 10 feet out. The second one's probably 30. The third one's probably 50, and the last one's probably that's like 75, something like that.
10 feet's really close.
Yeah, it is really close. If it were a 38, I would probably feel better shooting it that close. But I tried shooting the 38 at the furthest distance for a couple of rounds, and the accuracy on that thing is garbage. But it's not a distance shooting gun. It's supposed to be up close.
Was it a little 38 snub then?
I believe it was a snub, yeah.
Yeah, the little 38 snubs, they're meant to be fairly fucking close. If you get really good with them, you can still shoot at a decent distance.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about asking but I completely forgot when I was leaving. Because it would have been nice to know how far I was shooting out. Because I was going to actually take it as far as it could go. But I'm like, no, I don't want to. I looked around, and there is nothing more horrifying when you're at a range than looking everywhere else other than where the target is. Because I've seen bullet holes in locations that would scare the shit out of a normal person.
Yep.
Like, it's in the walls. It's in the ceiling. Like...
Oh, yeah. Like I said, every shooting range that has the hanger guides has the rule. Really fucking large on the wall, don't shoot our fucking hangers. Normally with at least one hanger that has been shot.
If it's the dog, the ATF is
what
hiring.
What happens?
It is a public range, and there are safety people there. I was the only one in the range. They weren't. It wasn't really all that busy.
Yeah, it's a normal thing that when you look around, yeah, everything seems to have a bullet hole in it.
Well, the crazy may come later. I did invite Emma to join us to discuss some stuff and kind of shoot the shit. Not really get too into the thick of things, but hopefully she will discuss her cow tipping ventures going on. But we're kind of just waiting for her to show up now. she said she might swing by a little bit. We're hoping that she will.
Nice.
Emma, for those who don't know, is engaged to Hatman, who, if those who do know as well, is buddies with AP.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I say buddies as if they're like we see them talking all the time. They know who each other are. So
they're friendly.
Yes.
Or perhaps acquaintance would be a better.
Yeah. In fact, if it weren't for AP, I would have never searched for Hatman. And then by Hatman, you find Emma. So, YouTube royalty by marriage. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's another.
Pull this up so I can take a peek at chat.
Yeah, so, yeah. Other than that, it's been, I don't know, a pretty busy day.
Oh, and Assassin recommends Viking Tactical's double-sided shooting target.
Double-sided shooting target.
Yep, one side's a silhouette, one side's the more skill target sort of setup.
Oh, I think
I'm not sure which sort of skill target he's referring to, because there's a few different of them. Because you have like the 5 circles on the same target version. You have a couple others.
Something like this. Let's
Oh, yep. Okay. That's probably what he's referring to.
Because, yeah, that's... I can see where that is the... Baker targets. So,
one of the things that I got really into a while ago was watching vintage firearm training videos. And there's one video that is about police handgun training, and apparently the FBI has a dueling range set up, which is pretty fucking interesting the way that they did it. Because they have it set so that the moment that one of the targets hit, it lights up a light bulb on the other person's side.
Huh.
So you have 2 people go up, and their targets are, if I remember correctly, perpendicular from each other. So they walk up towards their target, go to the range that they're told to go to, and then turn, draw, and fire. And it's a way of doing, effectively, dueling without having anyone's life in danger.
Huh.
Yeah, it was the first time that I'd seen anything like that. It's pretty fucking cool.
Interesting.
And yes, surviving edge weapons is probably one of the greatest training videos. As well as there's one that donut operator looked at ages ago, which was when to use your long arm and when to use your sidearm. And that one was pretty fucking quality because it also had the ricochet component of the video, which is really good information for people. One of the things that they did for that was a lot of people tried to hide behind cars. Here's what happens if you shoot the ground in front of a car. We've strapped a bunch of balloons on the opposite side of this car from us. And we're just going to shoot like 15 feet in front of the car. Hit the ground. Let's see what happens. Pops each of the balloons in turn. Because the moment that a round hits a hard surface like that, if it's at a shallow enough of an angle, it doesn't ricochet like people think, where it'll hit and then bounce off at the
angle that you were firing at. Yeah.
So you aren't hitting the ground at a 45 and it pops back up at a 45. But the bullets have a tendency to deform and then follow the hard edge. So police are told to not lean against a wall when they're hiding behind one, but to be a couple inches above. Yes, it ricochets parallel to the surface rather than reflecting.
Well, I mean, it is a rounded end, so that, of course, the thought, you would like to think that it's going to do that. So, yeah, it's not going to do anything close to that.
Yeah, it doesn't reflect. It ricochets and rides parallel to the hard surface a good chunk of the time.
Hey, Jen.
Which makes it very interesting. Yep. You don't ever touch the wall. You are supposed to be a bit away from it. That way, if someone pings the wall, the bullet will slip between you and the wall without hitting you. Whereas if you're shoulder up to the wall, you're fucked. It's slamming right into you if someone pings the wall. A lot of those videos are fascinating. I also love the old World War II videos of, these are what the Jerry's weapons are. Have you ever watched any of those videos, by the way?
No, I actually haven't.
If you like guns and you like history, I recommend looking up the old school World War II educational videos, because they are fascinating and hilarious. It's beautiful. There's a channel that I found not terribly long ago. Let me see if I can quickly find it again so I can recommend it to people. Let me say it's Periscope.
No, I have never actually.
Yep, this is the right one. So I'll just grab the link for this. It's a shit ton of old videos and old movies are uploaded on this channel. It's called Periscope Films, and it includes a bunch of the old World War II training videos. As well as a bunch of other random things, like they have a how to build a home in the Philippines from the 1940s.
Highways of Agony.
And there's a bunch of other that entire channel is just full of fascinating, weird old videos. And most of them are informational videos. So it's
A
war
1919
footage
beauty
and
parlor.
training. Say again?
A 1919 beauty parlor.
Yeah.
Permanent wave machine in action.
But they're all like educational videos, training videos, and then informationals. So it's a very strange channel, but it's addictive once you start watching some of them. You just keep on watching them. And you click through because you see another one that you're going, ooh, let me watch this one.
Hey, Jenna.
And it's such a strange but fascinating rabbit hole to descend into.
Oh, man.
What was the old man about?
Oh, nothing. I just got a DM from another gal who is into the locale stuff, and she's actually got a premiere going on in about 15 minutes. And I was gonna actually invite her along too, but I didn't want to like over invite because I plan accordingly, as in same day. I don't plan ahead of time.
Same day, on a good day, right?
Of course.
And then there's the other days where it's just, I don't know, fuck it, let's go. So, have you fallen into any strange YouTube rabbit holes recently, then?
As far as like how do you mean rabbit holes? Because there's always one thing that leads to another. That leads to another. I have pretty much been just perusing. Essentially, I've been watching other people's locales. As I prefer my my locales like gladiator fights, where you have your locale, and then you have the person who has been what's the word for it?
Are you talking about the people that document it, or are you talking about the people
cow tippers?
Yep.
Because and like I had I invited Emma to join us here. Hopefully she can still join us. But she has had some interactions with a couple that made me interested in actually trying to do a little tipping myself. And I broke the immediate first rule, and I broke character when I was trying it. So I'm like, fuck it. It's not my thing. Just because, and it was over something so fucking stupid too. Like it's just not my thing. So I like to do a good ribbing from the chat, but I'll leave the tipping to the professionals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm of the camp of don't touch the shit. So I enjoy watching that shit and watching other people wind these people up, but I'm not going to get involved with them. I'm not going to get in touch with them because, oh, good God, they just are fucking disasters. And just like it's fun watching a train wreck, it's not fun being in a train wreck.
Actually, since Frosted and Rotten and Assassin brought it up, Wendigoon, for example,
Yep.
like I had only heard about him in like Twitter Space. Like that's the only time I've ever actually really ever heard of him. Is just mainly, people like, oh yeah, he's a great dude. Like why are people giving him shit? And he's been getting shit for. I mean, before this even happened, people are just been like, oh, he's a right wing blah blah blah, and it's like, I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about. And then I watched the video, part of the video.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should say I watched other people's videos on his video, including like Brandon Buckingham. Brandon Buckingham's video was long, but it was also really good. But Willie Mack, I watched his video on it, and then I watched.
Willie Mack did a great job on it.
Yeah, and I watched. I watched Brandon Buckingham's, and then I watched someone else's that I couldn't think of. I can't remember offhand whose it was, but my favorite reaction from it is from Donut Operator on the Unsubscribed podcast, and I think it was I don't remember who the fourth guy is. There's those of you who don't know, there's Matt Herrera, Donut Operator, the Fat Electrician. There's Eli, who is someone I don't recognize, and then there is this fifth guy who was in the ads that I don't remember. I'll see if I can.
What does the fifth guy look like?
He's kind of a skinny dude.
Not
I'll see if I can bring up the.
the skinny Hispanic, short guy, right?
No.
Or is that the one that you're talking about? Because he's another gun tuber.
Let me see if I can find the picture of all of them put together so that. Because.
And you heard that they launched another streaming platform as well?
I did not.
Yeah, a bunch of the gun tubers and some additional creators have been getting fed up with the fact that every time that you're talking about guns, which if you're a gun tuber, every fucking video keeps on getting...
This guy.
Oh, yeah, no. Don't remember him off the top of my head. But the gun tubers, a bunch of them got together and they launched a new streaming service, Pillbox. I think it's Pillbox is the name of it.
He says
Someone in chat will know.
Pepperbox.
Pepperbox, that's what it is. Pepperbox. And it is a streaming service for gun tuber content, as well as some additionals. Oh yeah, the anti-Wendigoon video was a shit show.
Is it me, or does Donut Operator kind of remind me of... This is just me. Like, if this were the Highwaymen, this would be Waylon Jennings. Donut operator is Waylon Jennings.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. This is more attuned to dogs playing poker, but still, it's, I don't know. But yeah, this is the guy I was talking about, because I think this is one of the clips where he's talking about, he's like, look into my eyes, and then Cody just slides into frame and just stares at the camera.
Nice.
I wonder if I can find it. It's already taking too long.
But yeah, the hit piece on Donut, well, not Donut, on Wendigoon was just absolute shit. And it boiled down to, he's richer than I am, and that's not fair.
Yeah, it's... Kami's gonna Kami. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
At the very end of the clip.
Yep.
You can just watch it as he goes like, look me in the eyes, and then Cody just comes into frame.
Yep.
But yeah, that's quite possibly my favorite part of it. But yeah, no, like that was definitely some. I need attention. Now, how am I going to get this attention and hopefully be able to monetize it? And yeah, that didn't fucking work because you're a moron.
His original thing that he was trying to distract from, do you know what it was?
No.
So he did a review on The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And he said that the hill people were essentially Native Americans or...
Yes!
or black people, because... Yeah, fucking moron. So, my question is, who is that guy that I pointed to but completely forgot to ask?
So
I'll bring him back up.
Chad, I think, said it was that tough, skinny guy. Let me quickly scroll back up. I saw someone respond.
Token skinny guy?
The token skinny guy, yeah.
Okay.
Was what Assassin said. Now, whether that's actually his name or just him joking that he's the token skinny guy of the show, I'm not sure. Yep, it is hashtag token skinny guy. But yeah, it was... The fact that he was trying to distract away from him saying that natives and blacks are the hill people.
Are the personification of the hill people, yeah.
Yep. That was just fucking hilarious.
Even though they were white tier, they were white people.
See, the problem was they weren't gingers, so they couldn't be cast in the appropriate skin shade.
No, there's that video that that Camel pointed me at to with the fat electrician, because they were saying that he did the video on the last war chief. Let's see if I can.
Last what? Say again.
The last war chief.
Mm-hmm. Whose was it? His nephew almost became the last one, but the tribal elders were being a bunch of dickbags and didn't count elephants as horses.
Let's see. I haven't watched the video yet, so I can't really say. But let's see here. Videos. Devil Duck. It's a trend.
I want to say it was his either son or his nephew. Because there's certain criteria that you have to meet in order to be considered a war chief.
Yeah.
And the last person to actually meet all the criteria did so during World War II. But there was another guy who did pretty much everything, with the exception of stealing a horse during Vietnam.
Let's see. How Joe Medicine Crow became war chief in World War II. That's the one.
Yep. The thing is, the guy who did it all during Vietnam, except for steal horses, he stole elephants. And he came back and went, so yeah, I stole elephants. Here's the documentation for stealing elephants. And the tribal elders went, no, it says horses. So they didn't give it to him.
The audio's dipping out there, Assassin.
Is it when I'm doing something like this, or was it when I was in the middle of...
Or is it my
Okay.
actual audio? Chief Crow was knighted also. I did not know that. No, you have to steal horses, Tier. And you have to be legit about it. You can't just steal a horse.
And it's not just you have to steal horses. You have to steal your enemy's horses. But look, his son or nephew, whatever the fuck the relation was ripped off because the motherfucker stole elephants. And that didn't count. The elephant should have counted.
Yeah, stealing horses and molesting horses are two completely different verbs.
But yeah, it has to be specifically horses. Elephants don't count. Cars sure as shit wouldn't count. It has to be horses. And it has to be plural. So the last one to successfully do so was, well, the chap during World War II. But I still call bullshit. Vietnam should have been counted. Someone that you're at war with.
And it has to be a legit war, not quote-unquote war.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna have to get Far back on the show too. There is an update she would need to.
To continue the Chris story.
Yes, because I started back up on the documentary. I kind of jumped up to like 35 because it seems like most of these episodes are like about the same time frame, and it's covering the same stuff. So it's just like, okay, yeah, I saw this last time.
Well, no, it's not covering the same stuff. It's covering different things that are just very similar. Because Chris doesn't fucking learn.
Well, it's same shit, different day, is really all it is. But
Yep.
like it's like, yeah, okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Because, like I said, the motherfucker just does not learn.
No.
He just keeps on doing the same shit, keeps on falling for the same shit. And that's really the defining characteristics of lolcows, to my mind. It's that no matter how many times something happens to them, they will not learn. And it is entirely their own fault that they will not learn.
Well, see, their assassin goes. He confiscated a donkey. But did you give it back?
And a donkey is not a horse.
I mean, that's really close.
They didn't count. Fucking elephants. He stole elephants.
Well,
They didn't count that.
Well, there's a difference between an elephant and a horse and a donkey. There's a big difference there.
Yeah, the horse was selected because it is fairly difficult to steal the horse. And it was important. It was a military strategic resource that could be used in battle.
Both have hooves.
Plus, if we're talking about the difficulty of stealing a horse versus stealing fucking elephants,
I mean, the degree of difficulty is definitely tipped the way of the elephant there.
stealing the elephant should have absolutely been fucking recognized.
Just picking up fat chicks count.
We said elephants, not whales.
Let's see here. No, as far as anything else, really, yeah, when I was trying to, jumping back into the locale thing again, this gal, I don't even know how even popped up on the radar, but she essentially it's like Jerry Springer in this case, where she has and my understanding, because it's like trying to catch up on a story, and the story just keeps taking off. And so this one had she always has pizza, food delivered to her house. I mean, your typical prankster type stuff. And I'm thinking to this point, maybe if someone's delivering, her name's Barb. That's and she's from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana. And she's a habitual liar, I guess would be the
Pathological.
yeah, pathological would be the way to go about that, cuz it's and like she'll say something and then like 5 minutes later like completely say the opposite thing and be like, "Oh no, this is how it goes." And she's apparently working with the feds to take Emma's Medicare benefits because Canadians have Medicare, apparently. I don't know when that happened, but I guess it happens.
Wait, are we building the communion?
Apparently.
Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
It's a joke in online, but the U.S., Canada, and Mexico need to unify. So we would have Canada, United States, Mexico, the communion.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's so she opens herself up to a lot of this stuff. And with any Volcow, that's exactly how it works. They open themselves up to this shit. And then because they have a quote unquote ringleader that she sees in Emma, it's all her fault. It all goes to this person, and that's the kind of same kind of shit you'll see with AP, and he's got all these people who are blaming him. They're coming after me because of him, and he's like, I have never once told anyone anything about you guys. Like most of the locales he gets are like people who are like, "Hey, have you checked out this guy?" And he goes, "No. Let's see what he does. See what he's doing."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much like AP's part. He's like, I don't even. They point him to me. I play a video of theirs. That's about it. Like that's pretty much AP's thing.
They get pointed to me. I pull them up. We all have a giggle. That's the end of the day for me.
I think I still have a video of AP threatening to have me raped by leftists.
What the fuck?
I wonder if I still have that video somewhere. No, it was way back when he was on Blind Press's channel. And I had just happened to have mentioned that I had not watched AP's show.
Ah.
And so he went into a tirade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's worth a watch.
You, sir, now have a new subscriber.
And yeah, lo and behold, I did become one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really funny how that works.
Yeah, there's so many fucking lolcows now though, because it used to be that pretty much they're the ones that everyone knew about. You had the Dragon Lords, you had Chris Chan, Dark Side Phil, shit like that.
Yeah.
Now there's just so many of the fuckers that it is difficult to keep track of them. Because you have Daniel, Cyrax, fucking the White Bowser.
Yes, Assassin, I am very bad at telling these stories. but it's also because I don't stay on top of them like 24/7. Like, I'd say if I was more dedicated to the lore around it, I would have, files, a layout, a PowerPoint presentation. Like, I would have something like that going on. But no, a friend of mine actually from when I was working my night job, he actually got me into. He didn't get me into it, but he's the one who told me who Chris Chan was, and this is long before he became him. So, like,
Well, you mean long before he became her?
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. But yeah, he told me, like, and yeah, my first introduction to YouTube actually, it wasn't, Ranting Monkey. It wasn't Sargon of Akkad, Thunderfoot. That where most people picked in. My introduction to YouTube was Mr. Medicare.
That explains so much.
He's like, have you ever heard of this guy? And I'm like, I've never watched YouTube before in my life. And he goes, oh, well, let's change that. And
let's throw you into the deep end.
Oh yeah, and the deep end I went. Like, it pretty much, yeah, because he initially started me with. Well, he had introduced him as the internet aristocrat, but
did you start back during the furry stuff?
No, actually, my first video was the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Equally insane. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I did not. Yeah, I never heard of the internet aristocrat until he's like, yeah, he nuked all that and then just restarted as Mr. Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, you missed out. He's like, I could probably still find it if I really wanted to look, but he's like, yeah, that's some diving you really don't want to do. And then he brought up the one who does Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, Knudsen.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought him up too. But yeah.
That's one creator that I definitely want to return. Because it's been so long since there was a Friedrich Knudsen. Let me quickly double check. Make sure that I haven't missed any. But I think it's been ages since he's produced anything. So.
We're storytellers, not historians. Frosted.
Let's see. Yeah, the last one that he did was his EVE Online, which was 7 months ago. So that's at least in the past year. The one before that was fucking 3 years ago with the Battle for May Island. Or Battle of May Island. Which, that one's also just an absolute shit show. And now, we can be storytellers. It depends on what we're talking about, whether we tell a full story or whether we're just giving cliff notes. Right now, we're just giving cliff notes.
Yeah, if I was really more focused, I could be See, I am riddled by ADD, so that really doesn't help me very much.
Riddled by ADD.
Riddled by ADD. Like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia. Akin to AIDS.
God damn.
See, I wonder if we could. I wonder if we can talk Moon into coming in. So let's see here.
But yeah, there's a difference between when you're telling a full story and when you're just giving Cliff's notes and having a chat with someone. I can tell full fucking stories. I can make them rather eloquently done.
Well,
When I'm just doing, there's this shithead, there's this shithead, there's this shithead. That isn't a story. That's a list.
I don't like telling other people's stories. Because that's not my story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is to tell you, hey, this happened. Wait till they tell you what happened. And then when you're disappointed, just be like, you should have been there.
That last part's fucking cool.
Actually, despite that, no, I was actually never taught how to write. I was never taught how to, like, tell a story. And hey, Six, how's it going?
But yeah. There's X. So, who is your favorite lolcow to look into?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a favorite.
Who's the one that you think is the most interesting rather than favorite? That a better way of phrasing it?
Well, there's quite a few interesting ones, but I would say quite possibly the one that's caught me now. There was Lothiael that AP covered, and she was a bucket of nuts. Let's see here. The JRC3 one was pretty interesting. That was that one actually. She would be able to regale us with that story as well. But yeah, that's where Emma and Hatman came in. When I was talking about, that's how, like, AP pointed out Hatman's with Emma, and walking into the middle of that story was oh my goodness, like that one, like, I was really hoping that that Emma would show up for that one, because that was like once because for those of you who don't know who James Robert Clark III is, he stalks underage children. Let's just say that for
As
what it is.
many of them do.
Yeah, as one does, who is into that kind of thing, and he became obsessed with this one gal, who I think was Argentinian. Let's see here. That is very true, Six. And so he met a gal online named Galena, who had taken his woes away, as it were. And that's about when I kind of came into the whole story. There was that whole thing going down. And then I heard there's a lot of just back and forth, so it's kind of hard to keep track of what's going on, especially when you're like in the middle of the story. So it's really it's just a matter of when you catch it. But as it turns out, Galena was actually Hatman. And that made so much more sense after finding out that little nugget of information, because that was... Yeah, I was lost in the thick of everything, just kind of like, I have no idea who these people are. And then I'm like, wait, so who's... I remember watching one of Hatman's videos, and I'm like, wait, so who's Galena? And Hatman's like, I am. I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Because then he's still acting like Galena's a real person, even though everyone knows that this guy is not that Galena's not a real life person.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how's it going, Kiefer Dan?
Hey, Kiefer. But yeah, it's one of those things that when you start looking into lolcow, if you want to have any fucking clue what the hell's going on, you have to find a really good summary video to start. Because if you aren't there on day one of them becoming a lolcow, there's so much fucking lore that you've missed.
Yeah. And even there's the more recent one that Emma's been talking with, which is JP is what he goes by. He has a YouTube channel. He has like his 500th YouTube channel, apparently. Like he'll go through, and then once he starts to get shit, he just nukes it and then restarts.
So there's a different scumfuck JP than the old days JP?
Not the Frenchman.
Not the Frenchman that had an interest in
that's
chromosome smugglers?
That
That's
was
JF.
JF. That's right, yeah. But yeah, he's she and Emma's had a couple people on where he's kind of just got these people duped. And there is, I wouldn't say kind of breaking the conditioning, as it were, of these people. So, you know, they think that they have they can emotionally control these people, which is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But much like in this case, much like there was Galena, in this case there was what did she call herself? I'm going to have to look it up.
Some of them you kind of can control a little bit because their emotional levers are so fucking obvious.
Yeah. And I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's not hard. It's mainly just knowing which
Which lever to pull when.
exactly. Knowing your victim, as it were. Because you can, I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you can emotionally manipulate anyone into doing what you want them to do, depending upon, if it's someone who's, if you know how to grift them. We'll go with that.
And like I said, when it comes to lolcows, the defining feature for a lolcow for me is they are entirely at fault for who they started as, of course. But then they don't do anything to change. They just keep on doing the same shit. And they get pissed off when other people notice that they keep on doing the same shit. So it's not like people are constantly having to change their tactics, really. No, if you're trying to get Cyrax to do something, act like you're a 14-year-old girl, and he'll probably send you a dick pic.
Yeah.
If you are trying to get Chris Chan wound up, act like you're a single boyfriendless girl.
Boyfriend-free girlfriend.
Yep. And like you're even vaguely interested in
it. It's funny because it was when I was about episode 28 into the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at my stepson and I go, "How deep into internet lore are you?" And he goes, "Well, I'm pretty good. I know my things." And I go, "Have you heard the term boyfriend-free girl before?" And he just kind of thinks and he goes, "No." And I go, "Don't look it up." And then I just walked away.
So did he come back to you and go, "Oh, God damn it"?
No, he stayed away. He's a wise kid, but yeah. And Sabrina was the one that she had brought up, and she did the same thing that Hatman did with Galena, and yeah, it was.
But yeah,
It was funny.
The defining feature is that the lolcow doesn't learn. They don't get better. And there's innocent lolcows that people just have fun with, and then there's ones that people do actually try to ruin. It tends to be the more fucked up the lolcow is at their base, the more fucked up their treatment is. Mm-hmm. There are exceptions. There are trolls that take shit way too fucking far. But there's, as a rule, the more fucked up the lolcow was, the more fucked up everyone is when going after the lolcow.
Well, like if you take like Chris Chan into like someone like Chris Chan as an example, the trolling that was done to him is way beyond where I would go for pranks. Yeah. Like I don't think I would have ever gone to the point where you're like interacting with his family.
Yeah, the two that I would say are probably the best examples, at least early on, of the trolling going way too fucking far, Chris Chan and Dragonlord.
Yeah.
Later on, Chris Chan is removed from that list. But early Chris Chan, he hadn't shown enough to warrant that. Dragonlord, he's a weird guy, but I haven't heard anything that's a what the fuck Dragonlord. He's not a Cyrax. He's not a White Bowser or damn it, what's the one that thinks that he's a werewolf vampire?
Oh, that one. Is that the one that the Mama Max guy did his shit over?
I'm not 100% sure if Mom Max did anything.
Like he was trying to do a video exposing that the vampire cult leader, and it turned.
Oh no, that was
complete
a different thing.
That turned out to be a complete like
Jupiter. That's the one that I'm thinking. Jupiter the hybrid. That's another one that's an absolute freak and a chomo. The ones that are chomos, I don't really feel sorry when people go to extreme degrees in order to fuck with them. But then there's others like Viper and Chris Chan before he did his shit. And Dragonlord again is probably the best example. That are the really, that's going a bit fucking far. But for the most part, the worse the person is, the more extreme the trolling gets.
Yeah.
And the thing is that even with Chris Chan, when that shit was going on, there was a big pullback of a lot of the trolls going, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with this person? Because it took it from what they viewed as the fun degree of trolling to you are legitimately mentally breaking this person.
Yeah.
But just sending them food, that isn't anything ridiculous. Especially if you're doing the sending them food what that's paid for. If you're sending them food that isn't paid for, you're fucking over the person being sent out, not fucking over them.
Well, and that's what makes me think, like, if going back to the Barb situation, like, because she kept getting quote unquote sent food, and we were thinking, watching the videos, and like, because they have like dash cam footage and body cam footage for every time she's called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a receipt that she shows for every time that she's received food, which she's like, oh yeah, I think she had mentioned that she's had a pizza delivered, and I believe she mentioned it was a Pizza Hut that had delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the receipt that she's showing whenever she pulls the receipt out, she waves it, so you can't actually get a visual on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the receipt that she has, the last time I remember seeing a Pizza Hut receipt, it actually has the Pizza Hut logo just all over it, so you can't not see the Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm. From what I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been ages since I've seen one because I don't order fucking pizza. But
well, Camel's not here for that, so that's
yeah. We need the expert witness on this. We need to call up Camel. We need to go, hey, Camel. Last time that you ordered a pizza, what did the receipt look like?
But like anytime we've just gone out to even order, like either order it or like go to in this restaurant, it's always been kind of just every couple of inches there's a Pizza Hut logo.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when you're flipping the thing where no one can see the writing, and plus a receipt's not going to look like it's been on your car on your car floor, been stepped on, and yeah,
it's going to look fresh if it's fresh.
Yeah, it's not going to look dated, faded ink, and like all crumpled up. And if you're getting a crumpled up receipt whenever you order anything, you don't have a professional business that you're dealing with. Like, so the thought is that she may have had food delivered to her house once, maybe twice, 3 times. But
she's bullshitting the rest of it.
Yeah, like to where it's been done every week. Like she's like, look at I have the receipt, and I'm like, that's the same receipt you've been showing for the last 5 streams. Like, I mean, come on. Like, if you're gonna show us, like, at least try. Put at least a little bit of effort into the shit that you're trying to pull. But yeah, it's to the point now where, like, if people were just to unload, and nowadays, if you want to get anything delivered, you have to pay up front. There is no, there's no, like, you pay for it and then you get it. There's no, oh, well, it's cash on delivery. That ended when, I think, between COVID, but like most of the time, that's been a while. That's been kind of a while. Like, you have to, like, actually order the food.
You have to kind of hunt for it to be a cash on delivery.
Yeah. It has to be a small joint in a small town where, like, and even nowadays, even small towns don't do that shit.
Yep.
I mean, our visiting my dad, we'll order a pizza, and even just calling it in, like, because they know him, so they'll make it when he calls in, and he'll pay when he gets there. But most of the time, they're gonna have him pay before he even shows up. But then, that's a town of, like, 1,500 people now. So that's not going to be, it's still small enough to where they'd be like, oh yeah, you go ahead and pay when you get here.
We know Bob's good for it. We'll allow Bob to do it.
Yeah. I mean, he's the, he was the head of the snowmobiling chapter there. So yeah, I would say they would know who he is. Because snowmobiling is like, it's an important it brings in money. Because they do poker runs up to Bob Marshall. And yeah, you can go it's a good 6-hour run. And yeah, you go stop at like different locations, pick up a poker card, go on to the next location.
Mm-hmm.
Chase coyotes on your snowmobile. It's fun.
Now I'm just imagining snow kill coyotes. Which, that is a horrendous mental image. Because I can't imagine those treads are pleasant to the flesh.
Let's see here.
And Assassin, I hope you realize that the way that you wrote the sentence about your local pizzeria, it didn't sound like you were saying the mass-produced pizzas are toast with ketchup and cheese whiz, but that you go to a local pizzeria for your toast with ketchup and cheese whiz. God damn it!
All right. Let's see here.
But yeah, there's really just a glut of lol cows now.
Yeah, it is. They're almost getting to be a dime a dozen,
Yeah.
especially when you get into like boogie territory,
Mm-hmm.
and even when trying to like bring up like locale life as it is, like it's definitely a good marketing on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like where's the messages?
It was hilarious though when they had on Cyrax, and it was just the three of them calling him a chomo to his face, and he couldn't take it.
I've never heard of honestly I've never heard of Cyrax, so that's new territory for me.
He's the Akron Goblin.
Akron Goblin.
Very creepy looking dude. Balding. Thin as hell. Tiny, tiny little guy.
Oh dear God.
Yep. Looks like a goblin, like I said. And
Cyrax
not
soon
like,
to be infamous baseball incident with some epic audio.
and when I say it looks like a goblin, I don't mean like the modern short stack goblins. No. I'm talking about like proper old fantasy goblins where they look all fucked up and deformed.
Let me see if I can actually get this to where my. There we are. Nope, that's
And like a great many of the lol cows,
World Star.
he has a rather disgusting fascination with the young, shall we say.
Yeah, that is the.
Yep. That's Cyrex.
That's the mongrel man right there. Harder.
That is indeed the goblin.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that guy before.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's a whole slew of these that I've never heard of. So it's
Now, like I said, just the sheer number of them that you even start dipping your toe into who they are, and it's, oh yeah, they like children. God damn it!
well, of course. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent out an invitation to Moon as well. She's another one, along with Emma. She might be lurking a bit, but she has a couple of videos. Let's see. I'll switch that over here. Very, I would say they're Springer-esque type folk. The white trash, if you were.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I'm not to say that there's there's stereotypes for a reason. But, yeah.
The people that you expect to see when it's the live on Springer, the KKK, and the local gang.
And midgets.
Mm-hmm.
On tricycles. So, yeah, it is definitely a circus. And there are some people who can definitely do the presentations for their Barnum and Bailey display, and then there are some that, like me, I'm just not all that good at it. But you know, as long as we're able to get people on who can know the history, and I like I said, I don't know about you guys, but I like it like it's the Coliseum. You know, they have the lol cows, and then they have the cow tippers, which are the which I love watching that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me glad that I am not one of those.
As I've said, it's an internet train wreck.
They're
really fun to watch. I wouldn't want to be part of one.
And I will say this now. If I had not met a friend, I coincidentally met a friend of mine in a chat room once.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he pulls me aside and he goes, dude, this is not how you internet. Like,
mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he... I am not myself, but yeah, I could have been one of those had he not pulled me aside and been like, dude, no.
This is Johnny admitting that he was an ooh, you're so warm type early on.
Oh no, it was so much worse. It was so much worse.
Worse than ooh, you're so warm?
Yeah, it was gonna... not like Cyrax worse, but like just internet weirdo type worse. Like it could have been bad. Just for the fact that I didn't know how to internet, because I got my internet start way later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a small town boy, so I'm like, golly gee, this is sure is a swell place. Nothing bad can go wrong here. Oh yes it can. And oh yes it will. And then it's just like, my friend's like, dude, no. You can't. No. And anonymity is key.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping your fucking mouth shut. Like, dun dun dun. But yeah, no, I'm starting to fade a little bit, so I don't think they're going to make it, unfortunately, tonight.
Fair enough. Perhaps another night.
Yeah, no, well, hopefully they can show up. Yeah, I know that they're both pretty. They got jobs, lives, families, the whole thing. So yeah, hopefully we can catch them one of these times with better planning.
Mm-hmm.
And no, so you will not be here tomorrow.
No, I will be here tomorrow.
Oh, you will be here tomorrow. Okay.
It's the first Friday of every month.
First Friday of every month. Okay. All right. Tomorrow, Sanguine will be hosted.
Yep.
Same Minions time, same Minions channel. And with that, the zoo is closed. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, all.
God damn it, I pushed the wrong fucking button again. Fucking wrong stupid button. I'm gonna cut that out. All of it. From the beginning. Son of a bitch. No one saw that. Now, have a good night, everyone.